Welcome to another enlightening episode of the Collaborative Canvas, where we deep dive into the trend, insights, and strategies shaping the future of the business. Hi, I'm your host Ankesh Saxena, and today we are about to uncover a gold mine that has been hiding in plain sight, the affluent 60 plus demographics of urban India. In the next few years, this elite silver generation, 12 million strong, I might say, will wield an astonishing 1.6 trillion in annual spending power. That's right. You heard it me right. That's 1.6 trillion money we're talking about. Despite being the highest per capita consumer in the country, this segment remains vastly underappreciated and overlooked by marketers. But ladies and gentlemen, not anymore now. Today, we thrilled to have with us Sharmila Das, the chairwoman of Purple Audacity, a method-neutral insights and strategy consultancy, who will shine a spotlight on the immense potential of this affluent market. Sharmila will guide us through the nuances of this segment and exploring their unmatched disposable income, brand loyalty, and sophisticated taste, which make them prime influence or influencer in multi-generational households. We will delve into key insights how these seniors are redefining retirement with active lifestyles, embracing high-end technology, and seeking premium age-positive products and services. And most importantly, we'll discuss the urgent call to action for marketers, the need to redesign premium product strategies, develop exclusive services, and craft compelling narratives that will truly resonate with the discerning audience. So, if you're ready to tap into the hidden gold mine of the urban India silver generation, let's begin with this. Let's dive in with Sharmila Das on the collaborative canvas. We welcome you, Sharmila.
Thank you. Thank you, Ankesh. And it is lovely to be on your platform.
Thank you so much for being
Mm.
here. And to start with, I was just scrolling down my LinkedIn, and all of a sudden, the first post on I think on a Saturday morning popped up about silver
Yes,
generation. And
yes.
generally, when I do the demographics
Mm.
split, and we try to give researcher a thought to I analyze that data. We always go up to 45 because we know on the online platform 35 to 45 is the highest penetrated population. But when it comes to going down traditional methods, we even know that this population is still very populated in terms of online or offline, and we underestimate or underrepresent this 45. And when I was reading your article, I realized that you're making every single point very clear. So I thought, how about we talk about this in length on the podcast and let the researcher also give a perspective to it. So my first question to you
Mhm.
is, why do you think this demographic, specifically 46 plus or 60, is so underrepresented in the marketing strategy despite this strong purchasing power?
Yes, that is a question which has been on my mind for some time, Ankesh. And yes, I must use the disclaimer at the very onset that there is a bias because I myself am 60 now. And the bias which I felt needed to be explored further resulted in my exploration of what is happening worldwide. What is, is it a bias which is creeping in because I am observing myself and my peer group, and we do not represent the silver, generation completely? And my exploration of what is available, what is there in the market, actually showed that my my anger at being neglected was quite justified. So therefore, yes, thanks for starting with the numbers, because uh, 1.6 trillion INR, which is the projected you know uh, potential annual spending that you mentioned, is only of socioeconomic class A and B urban silver citizens. It is not even covering, the entire spectrum which could be
Mm,
the larger potential. If I look at the larger potential, then the larger potential figure is actually 7 trillion INR. for the entire base of silver citizens which India will have by 2025. But I'm saying that okay, let's reduce it, let's reduce it, let's reduce it. Let's not even confine it to only urban. We will reduce it to only SEC A and B.
Mm,
That is 1.6 trillion INR, which actually is almost, I think, USD 19.5 billion, which is equal to the GDP of a small country like, Georgia,
mm,
or it is more than the GDP of a small country like Iceland.
mm,
Therefore, that is the power. Now, why is it, you know, not considered by especially mainstream brands? That is a key question that all of us have. And I think there are multiple reasons. One, the perception that 60 plus demographic is a very homogeneous group,
mm.
and they will be mainly looking for healthcare or retirement plan options because that is the life stage that they are in. And I'm saying that that perception is outdated. Secondly, yes, the youth dividend that our country has definitely, leads to a youth obsession.
Yeah,
And that's not surprising because most of the brand managers are also young. So
yeah,
therefore, their plans are about catering to the segment they understand. And hence, again, the silver citizens, become neglected. There are some assumptions also which are getting proven to be wrong by data, like the assumption that silver citizens are not digitally savvy.
yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
but then the IMAI data continuously shows that the growth which is happening in digital literacy in this segment is also very large. And then last but not the least, and in fact some of the comments on my post were also on the same, that there is a fear of brand dilution. If I start talking to the senior citizen, I will alienate my core TG, which is the younger generation. But then that is the point. Like in India we are so afraid, but for example Japan, where the older generation in terms of numbers is, they're definitely larger in proportion than India. Look at Uniqlo. Uniqlo is now a brand that all of us in urban cities have started recognizing and we have
Yeah,
started purchasing. But the rise of Uniqlo was based on their strategy, which they called, I think, Lifewear, which was about a concept which focuses on comfort and functionality of all ages. What will you call it? It is not just speaking to the senior citizens, but some of the core needs of senior citizens are kept in mind by this brand. So
yeah,
therefore, I call it, a combination of catering to the innate wisdom of the
mm.
consumer, which is stemming from their knowledge. And this space is age agnostic, but it is focusing on the needs of the senior citizens also without leading to brand dilution. There are, there are worldwide, there are so many instances from which we can actually learn and, utilize it for this largest population in the world that we have.
In fact, you actually cited the very good example on Uniqlo. That's basically a shop for all kind of a department store where you can buy clothes for anybody. It's not just limited to, one gentry. And I think to a certain extent, even if I'm not mistaken, whenever I've been to this department store, I've only seen the clothing store. I've only seen, mannequins and a bit of pictures of the young generation, but they have sizes for all. It doesn't matter, who they're actually selling to. I think that's where the perception needs to be explored a bit more. That's what I believe, because um, my grandma, who's almost 90, so I probably like she's like a platinum generation. She does know how
Hmm.
to operate a Facebook. And when she does know how to
Hmm.
operate a Facebook, she can see n number of brands that significantly, maybe to a certain extent, for her use. And those brands are not technically tapping. It is more like, they are organically reaching out to her, and she may buy and she may. I mean, we saw a recent ad where an old lady was able to use a UPI to, recharge the DTH. And
Yeah.
there's certain brands who are actually focusing, and you may mention this one of those opportunities as well. But other than
Hmm.
that, Sharmila, what opportunities for the silver generation specifically do you see? The brands needs to engage beyond the traditional focus on their old age solutions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because and this is a interestingly, Ankesh, in 2009, we had done a project for a French institution, and it was a foresight project where we were, trying to identify the trends which will happen within the next 15 years. And, as I'm speaking, we are just going to reach that 15th year mark,
Hmm.
and one of the trends was on the changing nature of the silver generation, which is not dependent on their children for everything, which is going to have a larger kind of a lifespan than the earlier generations, which is going to be fitter, which is going to have a different kind of decision making capacity. So therefore, if you look around yourself also, and I love the example of your grandma, because it is very similar to the example of my aunt, my father's elder sister, who is also around in her late 80s, and who not only knows everything about every new reel which is there on the Instagram. I don't know about it, she knows about it. She listens to Coldplay. I mean,
Oh, nice.
what are we talking about here? Yeah. So therefore, there are things like travel and leisure. So travel and leisure is not only about religious places, travel
Exactly.
packages which are for senior citizens, the
Yeah.
senior citizen looking for age appropriate experiences. So therefore, like there are, again, around the world. I think in UK there is Saga, which actually focuses on packages for the 50 plus age group. In India, we are yet to see that.
Yeah.
Similarly, in technology, technology is now part of our life. Let's accept it, and let's
Exactly.
accept that it is as much a part of senior citizens life as it is of the younger generations, and they are also enjoying themselves learning the use of technology, but then the approach for them has to be a little different, maybe. So again, talking about Japan, I think one of their key e-commerce brands has actually opened a section for senior citizen with which has a little larger fonts, which has navigation and opportunity to actually seek what they are seeking with the help of AI, or
Hmm.
an assistant which will come in. So those kind of things are happening. Similarly, fashion and lifestyle. I mean, why should the senior citizen have only what you were saying, that organically it is reaching your grandmother, but there is nothing which is specifically being made for her? The I think, again, Marks and Spencer, the classic range. What will you call it? Classic range is not only for senior citizen, right?
Yeah.
But the sensibilities of the senior citizens in terms of the kind of designs, the kind of comfort, the kind of buttoning which has to be done, or the zipper and everything, all of that has been brought in, which is, getting sold to the younger generation also.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think you made a very good example about Marks and Spencer classic brand. So I'll just go
Hmm.
few years back when I used to see my grandparents used to go to their office, and which is again more of a
Hmm.
diplomatic environment. It's all about being in proper
Hmm.
attire, tie and
Hmm.
belts and everything on. And That's what I call,
Mm,
classic dressing. And that's exactly what I
mm,
think whenever I see classic shirt, I always believe that, this is, to be honest, not for me, because I am not kind of a guy
mm,
who would, put on a tie and go and meet the customer. I would
mm,
probably just,
mm,
call up and, I'll just get myself into the dynamism of the current market. I would not look at, what
mm,
exactly it is. But again, the
mm,
fact is, I think when I was reading your post, I realized there are a lot of things which brands these days are actually missing. What exactly, as
mm.
per you, you gave a couple of good examples. I still wanted to, explore more on, anything specific area that brands that are actually missing it out, they should be well aware of it and they should implement those strategies into this.
Yes, the first thing is understand the senior citizen. Another sector which is completely missing out the silver, generation is the financial sector. All that they can think of are retirement plans for us. But that is not the truth. We are looking for investment opportunities. Why not, teach us about venture capitalism and, how we can actually spend some of our earnings there, or, anything else which is about investments, vehicles, lifestyle. There could be so many other things. Do not just, think that we are there looking for the best retirement plan which is there. And why is this happening? Because the understanding of brands of for the silver generation, I think it is my hypothesis, and uh, I would love to be corrected by brands on this. My hypothesis is that our generation is considered to be this, one monolith which is exactly the same, and their needs are also going to be the same, and everything is going to be the same, and they are in any case going to depend on their younger generation for every decision. So let's cater to the younger generation, because through them we are in any case going to reach the senior citizen. Do you forget that many of us are actually going for courses?
Mm.
We are looking for, education or courses which we have the time now to actually do them. In Australia, in UK again, they have specifically designed courses for senior citizens. Are we, not missing out on that entire thing?
Yeah.
Again, all wellness, it doesn't have to be about geriatric problems. We are also, looking for mental wellness, beauty, fashion, all sorts of wellness. Where is that getting catered to? Why is it happening? Because the first thing I told you, that the segmentation of silver generation has to be done better by brand. They have to be understood in terms of the kind of need segments, the kind of psychographic segments that exist within silver hair. In-depth research, which is, actually living the life of a senior citizen, understanding what exactly goes on in their life. Once again, I think I was reading about this UK brand, I think Procter and Gamble in UK, which had created certain, outfits which were called, I think, Jerry Slim or something.
Mm.
Okay,
Heard of it.
the younger brand managers were asked to wear them so that they actually understand the problems that happen at 60 plus. And what did it lead to? It led to packaging designs which were, far more convenient and easy for everybody, and not only senior citizens.
Mm.
So the focus of the brand to understand the senior citizen also needs to change. The in-depth understanding of their daily lives, what they are struggling with, what are the actual pain points, all of that needs to be understood. Co-creation is something which we do, and we do that often with youth, right? Whether we are co-creating comps or whether we are co-creating, product ideas, that is one critical aspect of product design. So all design research will have co-creation. Have we ever heard of senior citizens being involved in a co-creation exercise by any organization? No, no.
Nope. I don't
That
remember.
is what, yeah, we have not. And you mentioned multi-generational kind of approach. At the moment, there is a lot of talk, and it is not baseless. It is very, very valid that the younger generation, the alphas, the Gen Zs, are influencing many decisions of their parents. But in a society which is still intergenerational in nature, which will not change very soon from being in situations where the household has multiple generations living in it, the vice versa also happens.
Yeah.
The senior citizens also influence many decisions of the younger generation. Which communication, which brand has actually leveraged this fact so far? None of them.
None of them actually.
None of them. And digital engagement, is there a senior citizen sensitive digital engagement platform that any brand has created? Still very far from that. So all of it is something which needs to be done, which is, there is so much potential, whether it is home automation, because this is the age where people are actually investing back in home automation to make life easier, simpler, and
Yeah.
less risky. Safety, security, all these aspects are coming up, especially with the younger generation moving away to other countries, staying far away. All of it is coming in. Intergenerational products, which are like, so many times in your life also you would have noticed that the dada dadi, the grandparent, are actually in charge of
Mm.
their grand sons and granddaughters. But are there intergenerational kind of products which both of them can actually have fun using together? That's a reality which we have in our life, for which no brand has so far taken any action. Accessible luxury, specialized nutrition, these are, and I'm really happy, Ankesh, actually, I think just yesterday or day before, the post on LinkedIn came from ITC Foods,
Mm.
and Hemant Malik also personally wrote on his page about the launch of the Right Choice range,
Mm.
which is again, I think, keeping the requirements and the sensibilities of the senior citizens in mind. But right choice is actually age agnostic,
Yeah.
because my daughter, who is just 30-year-old, is also looking for options which are better for her, healthier for her, are right for her. Okay. So therefore that is feeding into the entire marketing thing, not only catering to the silver hair, but stemming from probably their needs.
Yeah, in fact, we started the conversation by saying that this is what I think and I may be wrong, and this is what my
Mm,
hypothesis is, and somebody can correct me onto that. I think
mm,
the belief is that, our hypothesis are basis on our experiences, and that's where we validate it with the research. And if I believe, this is what it is and how this is being done will be always be the same. It may not be the same that ways. You probably have a variety to it. And you also mentioned about the retirees, so people in India, they've been born and brought up in a way that, once you get old, you actually have to go for a Char Dham Yatra.
mm,
That's the only thing that you can do, and which is where, nobody even actually promotes Char Dham Yatra kindly. If you go to
mm,
Haridwar, you'll get a lot of boards out there. In a recent
mm,
conversation with my friend, he told me that, my father actually wanted to visit Sri Lanka because he have seen so many
mm,
reels out there. What,
mm,
traveling brands are actually doing for them? Are they creating any values
exactly.
to it? They're not. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
also, at the end of the conversation, you definitely made a very good point. Intergenerational conversations or the products, they don't even exist. There's one scene actually happening where this friend is taking her father and the in-laws to Sri Lanka to, go
Mm,
and just have some fun for at least a week because
mm,
his father wanted to go there. And
mm,
we don't have a product that caters to that need. We just have to go and punch
Yeah.
the numbers and get the tickets done and then take my father there. There should be something which could delighted him because he actually got to know it from the technological advancement that we have, and which is where
Mm.
Japan or US is taking the leap of, to do
Exactly.
something there. And we are still, catering to the,
Exactly.
and I think that's because of our population. I maybe,
Yeah.
and people can correct me on that, as we got a larger generation, which is Gen Zs and upcoming alphas, who are actually
Mm.
driving the lot of decision makings around. So I
Mm.
think the
Absolutely.
mainstream brands are mostly focusing on that. But yes, this ITC, I read that post as well, and this right choice is basically a good initiative. At least somebody is hearing, because this is still a vast population, and as we mentioned, it's like a trillion INR industry altogether, and we are just missing out on
Mm.
that big time.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm saying, see, at this age, I firmly believe, Ankesh, that at the bottom of everything lies the economics of it.
Yeah,
And the economics is certainly pointing towards a greater kind of attention which needs to be given to the silver generation. And I'm not even talking about 2050, by which we will actually start, the wheel will start turning. So we will start becoming a nation with higher number of older people than the
yeah,
younger generation. I'm not even going as far as 2050. I'm talking of today. I'm
today.
talking about next year. By next year, there are going to be approximately 12 million urban, you know, able to afford senior citizens with approximately USD 19.5 billion or 1.6 trillion INR, whichever suits your appetite better, you pick up that number. But how can we not leverage, that particular potential?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So, my fellow brand marketers, you heard her right. It is not just about old age homes. They are gone. Gone are those days when, old age people are sitting at one place and just reading newspapers. They are well equipped with the knowledge that is there through different mediums. And I think we talked about the numbers. We talk about what narratives needs to go out into the market, what and how they can be immensely, create a potential wealth out of it. So please do hear this out, and we would love to hear your opinions. And with that, we wrap up another insightful episode of the Collaborative Canvas. Just to give you a recap, today Sharmila illuminated the immense of potential of urban India's silver generation, a demographic that has been underestimated for far too long. And we have discussed with strong purchasing power and active lifestyle, which presents a wealth of opportunities for brands willing to break the mold and move beyond outdated perceptions of aging. So far, it is clear that 60 plus cohort is not just looking for products that cater to old age solutions, but is eager to engage with brands that offer them vibrant, relevant, and sophisticated experiences. From luxury technology to premium services, the possibilities are endless. And for those who chose to see the demographic for what it truly is, a dynamic, influential force is in the market. We've explored the importance of shifting the narratives again to view the silver generation as vibrant and active consumers, and the crucial step brands must take to include them in their market research and product development. And Sharmila pointed out well that key to tapping into the springing and sprighty demographic lies in the understanding their unique needs and desire and crafting strategies which resonate deeply with them. So if you're watching this and you still have questions, feel free to drop your questions on the comments below, or you can actually reach out to Sharmila, of which I'll give you the details at the end of the video directly, and she'll be or I'll be more than happy to answer any questions to you do you have about this episode and the topic that we have discussed. And to our listeners, if you're just away or you're taking away from one thing from this episode, I'll say this is the silver generation is not just a market segment, they're the market powerhouse. It's time to recognize their value and integrate them into your strategy for future proof brands. Thank you so much, Sharmila, for sharing your valuable insights
Thank
with us. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and
you.
share it with your network. Stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to explore the key trends and strategies shaping the world of the business. And this is not the end, it is just the beginning. Until next time, keep innovating and stay ahead. Thank you so much, Sharmila.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ankesh. Thank you.